Welcome, everyone, to the February 8th, 2023 meeting of the Senior Commission. I will now call out the roll. Commissioner Ambrosi?
Present.
Commissioner Crawford?
Present.
Commissioner Knapp?
Present.
Commissioner Zamora?
Present.
Commissioner Starr?
Present.
Commissioner Chang?
Here.
Will Commissioner Starr lead us in the pledge?
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to public comment, I will read the procedures for public comment. Citizens addressing the commission during public comment are asked to approach the podium and are limited to 3 minutes unless extended by the chair, and must be regarding items that are not listed on the agenda and are within the city's jurisdiction. The Brown Act does not permit any action or discussion on items not listed on the agenda. No action will be taken on items addressed under public comment. I will now open public comment.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Robert Basor. I'm a resident at the Eschaton Village single-unit housing development. It's a part of a gated community here in Roseville. And I'm here today to share with you that we recently, over the past years, have developed an evacuation plan. We found that this was not existing. I want to thank publicly the fire department and the police department and their participation. We hosted a town hall meeting for which they attended and truly helped our citizens understand the need for an evacuation plan. One would say electric here is underground, 85%, hence we shouldn't have power outage. But in Rockland less than a year ago, a transformer flooded and it shorted out and they were without power. My grandson, 5 years old in Kovacs, less than a few weeks ago, had to be locked into a room because somebody come on that campus. Sorry. To hear my little 5-year-old talk about that was not what we expect here in America. I find with our Eschaton, we have a school. Again, not to have an evacuation plan. One of the things that faces seniors, and I'm here today mostly to understand how the commission is and how we can possibly support you more. We have over 35 veterans, people that know how to get things done quickly, and they're part of, we have 18 volunteers. We have a system now where we can contact all the residents of those 275 homes in less than 10 minutes. We have phone tree, we have people, these 16 people will go out, put cards in the door if it's merely a lockdown, but if it's something as severe as, and one says, oh, you know, we have no fire, there's no trees there in Roseville. But if you have trees go down, we saw that less than 3 weeks ago. 75-mile-per-hour winds came through there, trees, one did go down, but it can happen. And the worst scenario, we live near Beale Air Force Base. You know what's going on in the world. You don't think that that won't be a nuclear strike if they choose to do that? So we have to be ready. We have to think about, I'm from that old school where you went underneath the school desk and thought that was going to protect us. But, you know, civil defense has gone away. It's been sort of off the charts, but it's possible. So I'm encouraging all senior communities to do what we've done, and we're looking to improve what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I make a comment? Yes. Okay. I want to thank you for bringing that to our attention. I am a retiree from the Office of Emergency Services. I worked for the Governor's Office of Emergency Services for a while, and then I've retired from the City of Oakland's Office of Emergency Services. And what you're saying is absolutely true. and we have seen it all over the country. We are not prepared for most emergencies. Luckily, in the city of Roseville, we've had very good response from our fire department and our police department. A number of trees went down across Pleasant Grove Boulevard near the Sun City development, and they were very prompt in getting it fixed and taken care of. But planning is essential. Seniors have special needs in planning, and so I want to express my appreciation for the work that you're doing in your community. More communities need to do it.
Yeah, just as a matter of statistic, we have 17 people that are bound on wheelchair or have oxygen. So obviously that's part of our first call on our phone tree. We must make sure they're aware there's an emergency and know what the necessary action is. But also we have over 130 people in total that will need some level of assistance. They're in walkers, they're with canes. They're not going to be able to move quickly. So that's why we have our volunteers to get out there, take them by the hand, get them to where they're safe. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, I will close public comment. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our meeting on November 9th, 2022. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is the approval of the minutes from our meeting on December 6th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
I second. Oh.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to item 6.1, appointment of new chair and vice chair. Jeff?
Yes. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Jeff Nearson. I'm your Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Manager. First and foremost, we haven't met since December, so Happy New Year. This is our first meeting in the new year, so it's certainly good to see a full seat. It's awesome to see everybody. So just a little bit about the chair and vice chair. The Senior Commission meeting procedures require that a new chair and a new vice chair be elected annually by the members of the Senior Commission and assume their positions upon election. The chair is the presiding officer of the meeting. In absence of the chair, the vice chair shall be the presiding officer of the meeting. Upon arrival of the chair, the vice chair will relinquish the chair immediately upon conclusion of the item of business before the commission. And I just want to remind you that the length of term for the chair and vice chair shall be 1 year. However, there's no limitations on the number of consecutive terms the chair or vice chair may serve. So I just want to kind of put that out there as you guys think about that. So really at this moment, I think we're asking the commission to nominate a chair, and then we will work through that motion and approval, and then we will nominate a vice chair and work through that same process. So I will put it back to our commissioners to nominate, or put your hand up if you want to put yourself out there to be the chair of the senior commission. Anybody want to nominate somebody?
I will volunteer to be the chair, so.
Okay.
And do I need to second that she's volunteering, or do you want me to nominate you first?
Please. So there can be some discussion about it if people want to continue and further that discussion, but if everyone is on the same page, then someone can make a motion to appoint Nicole as the chair.
I
I make a motion to have her be the chair.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, so we'll put it to a vote. All in favor of approving Nicole Zamora as the new chair, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No?
All right.
Congratulations, Chair
Congratulations,
Zamora.
Nicole.
Thank you.
So we'll go through the same process for a vice chair.
Well, I nominate somebody. I'm Okay, I nominate, and if she doesn't want it, it's okay. Kathleen, I think you'd be a good second person there, if you're able to do it.
Since it's a one-year term, I would be able to do it. Thank you.
Oh, great.
So there's a nomination on the floor. Still needs a second.
It's a motion and then a second, yes.
Did I not do it right?
Well, you just made a nomination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But someone would need to make a
Make a
motion.
motion that Kathleen be
Vice Chair.
vice chair.
I second it.
Okay.
We can put it to a vote. All in favor of approving Kathleen as our new vice chair? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Kathleen.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Okay, so I guess now I'm up.
Now it's your show.
Okay. So now, item 6.2, the telephone reassurance program presentation. Thank you. So I appreciate you having us here today to talk about the telephone reassurance program. My name is Lindsay Damon. I am the Manager of Outreach and Impact for Eschaton. I'm going to talk to you, I have a PowerPoint, if that could be, thank you. A little bit about Eschaton and who we are, and then get into the logistics of our telephone reassurance program. So Eschaton is a regional nonprofit aging service provider that has been dedicated to enhancing the lives of older adults in Northern California for over 50 years. We are purpose-driven, inclusive, and transparent in all that we do, and continue to remain focused on creating a culture of purposeful living for older adults. So our mission is to enhance the quality of life of seniors through innovative health, housing, and social services, and our vision is transforming the aging experience. The telephone reassurance program began with St. Paul's Episcopal Church in downtown Sacramento. It became a little too large for their volunteer base to run, and so Eschaton took over the daily operations in 1996. There is no income, age, living status criteria to be a part of the program. We have volunteers that provide phone calls 365 days a year, even holidays, to our participants and really establish a connection and provide any support that they may need. And some of our statistics, so over 600 older adults are called annually. We have over 63,000 calls made each year. 1.5 million calls have been connected since 1996 when Eschaton took over. And our volunteers and older adults are from all over the country. So you can be in Georgia and have someone calling you from Nebraska, anywhere all over the United States. And then some of the services that are provided through telephone reassurance. You can have calls up to 7 days a week. When someone signs up to be a part of the program, they let us know how many days they would like calls, how many times a day, and which days they would like. And then there is spiritual and emotional support with our on-call chaplains, so they can be connected if they are maybe going through a hard time and would like some spiritual care support. We have well-being programs that include webinars on physical, emotional, and financial health. And then we have information and access to Eschaton's network of services and resource navigation, which I will now let Valerie, who is our resource navigator with Eschaton, a certified senior advisor, elaborate on the services she provides.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Valerie Vachon. I'm the resource navigator. So as Lindsay stated, telephone reassurance participants have access to resource navigation. This typically happens when one of our trained Eschaton volunteers calls a participant and they share that they have a concern or a situation that they need help with. The volunteer then has the opportunity to send me a message relaying that concern, and I follow up with the participant. So some examples of common concerns that I hear all the time, someone has said, I need help at home, I can't do my laundry anymore, or I need transportation to the grocery store. A really common one that I hear is, I need to move out soon and I need something that's low income. So with that being said, some of the information I'm able to provide, information about Eschaton's various communities and our home-based services, as well as community-based resources within the greater Sacramento area and beyond. We have participants, as Lindsay mentioned, that have lives out of state that I've assisted before, like Georgia, and I'm able to do that with some research on my end. I'm also able to provide information on aging-related services, government programs, policies, and regulations. Examples are Medi-Cal programs like CalFresh, affordable housing, and much more. I'm also able to serve as an advocate to empower older adults to access the services that they need. Some individuals just need some guidance on where to look or what questions to ask. Sometimes I get people that already have the tools that they need, but they just need someone to help them problem solve, or even someone to give them some validation or reassurance, and I'm happy to do that. And last but not least, I'm able to provide education on health promotion and wellness programs. Eschaton loves to focus on education and well-being. In the past, we've hosted various virtual summits and provided educational materials like booklets on relevant topics to older adults like fall prevention, heart health, and much more.
Thank you. So to be a part of the program for eligibility, any age, any living status, there is no criteria to sign up for telephone reassurance. It is completely free. We don't need any insurance information. Anyone can be a part of the program, and you don't hear too many things that are free nowadays, but this program is 100% free. And then some of our participant feedback. We have a third-party survey company who ensures that we are meeting the needs of our participants. And here you'll see the overall satisfaction rate was 99% when the participants were asked things like, I feel more secure knowing someone's going to check on me. I feel my well-being has improved. I feel less lonely. I feel like someone cares about how I'm doing. Those are really meaningful statements to be able to have your participants saying. And then some recent comments from our participants. I won't go through every single one, but a very positive experience. It's soothing and comforting to talk to them. I don't have anyone else. I love the program. I'm alone, and these people are diligent in calling, so faithful, make you feel important. I really appreciate it. I am blessed. Thank you. I look forward to them. I don't know what I'd do without them. I'm lonely, and they keep calling even though I moved to Arizona. Thank you. And then lastly, to sign up to be a part of the program, or if you have someone you would like to refer to the program, you can just give us a call at that number or go on our website and you are able to fill out an application. And we are happy to answer any questions you may have about the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lindsay and Val. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
I have, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jean.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was, I may have missed it in the beginning, but how is this funded? Is it all volunteer?
It's completely run by volunteers, and then our staff will fill in as needed.
Could you put the website back up again? I didn't write quick enough.
Oh, absolutely. Can we put this slide back? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I believe, Lindsay, they can also find it if you go to eschaton.org. And you'll be able to navigate to it from there as well.
And we have some flyers and information as well, too.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so I'm wondering, is this program already running somewhere within the Sacramento County area?
Yes, so the volunteers are actually located all over. We have those that make calls from their home, and then we also have our office that is on the Village Roseville campus, and it's the Community Outreach and Impact Office, and we have volunteers that will come in. A lot of the homeowners actually from Eschaton Village Roseville are some of our in-office volunteers, and they'll make friendly phone calls.
Okay, so right now, it's not active in Roseville?
Oh, no, it is.
It is,
Yes.
so this is just more an FYI then?
Yes.
Rather than anything, okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yes. My question is, where, like, say if you did not live in Eschaton, where would people find this information?
That is a great question. So Val actually goes out to a lot of different resource fairs and health fairs and is able to spread the word about our program. And then we do a lot of just on the ground work of trying to let everyone know that this exists and that this program is available.
Thank you.
quick question. So this is not being publicized in any of the City of Roseville, for instance, either website or newsletter or
No.
FAB
No.
yet? Are you looking for more volunteers? Would that be helpful?
We would love more volunteers. Yes, volunteers and participants. We are always trying to grow the program.
Okay. You might be able to help.
What kind of training do you give your volunteers for making those telephone calls?
That's another great question. So we have a virtual training since a lot of the volunteers may not live locally. If we do have groups of volunteers or those that would like to come in person, we do an hour-long orientation with them, just going over all of the logistics of making your calls. They get a handout as well that has all of the information. And we typically will model a call as well while they're on so they can hear just the kinds of conversations that are happening. We always make sure that the participant is aware that they are on speakerphone being listened to for training purposes. And then after that, we just continue to check in with them and make sure they're feeling comfortable with their calls. We talk to their participants, make sure that they're bonding well, because that is a big piece of it, is we want to make sure that it's a good connection and a good relationship between the volunteer and participant.
And do they generally have the same people that they call back?
Yes, we do try to always have those same people that are calling. It just depends, though, on if the volunteer maybe only does one shift a week, so they're only doing 2 hours a week, and that person gets calls daily, then they're not going to speak to the same person every single day. And then we do, we respect that everyone has a life and they may need time off or doctor's appointments. And so we do have those on-call volunteers that will fill in and do callbacks, or the staff ourselves will make the calls.
What happens if one of your volunteers gets a question that they're just not sure that they can answer? What would they do?
So if they are using our web-based portal to report their calls, they're able to send in that question. It can go to Val if it's a question for our resource navigator, or they can contact any of us at the office and we will assist as needed.
And do you often have a problem, like, I know that as an agency that would need to report someone who mentioned self-harm or potential suicide, what's your training for those very difficult situations?
So in any situation that is kind of out of the scope of what the volunteer is trained to do, they would contact us immediately. So even we'll have to do welfare checks sometimes, make reports to Adult Protective Services. So the staff handles all of that. We just ask that the volunteer notify us immediately. And we have an on-call cell phone as well, so that if it's after hours or on a weekend, there's always someone available to answer that.
Any other questions from the commission?
Just one. If this person wanted a well-being check and they don't answer, do you refer it to the emergency services, or how do you?
Yes, so the well-being check is through emergency services. So if we have continued to call someone, when they sign up for the program, they let us know what the next steps are. So if they want us to contact their emergency contacts, then we will go that route. If they want a wellness check right away because they don't typically ever leave their house or have loved ones that can check in on them, then we will make that call right away.
Thank you, commissioners. I'd like to open this to public comment. Is there any member of the public that wishes to give public comment on this item? Go ahead. You could come up to the podium.
All due respect, that was a very good sales presentation. I think, however, I would give what I've firsthand experienced is a level C at best. There's still, a lot of what they said is not what's taking place. We have over 150 people that are literally don't get out. When we have events, we have 25 or 30, and as recent as just 60 days ago, 2 of their associates walked out of a meeting where we were trying to organize a sunshine program where our residents were going to go out and at least sit down with people. That's what they need. They don't need to be, particularly with COVID. We've seen so many people not coming out at all. So we as citizens, the residents, wanted very much to make sure people are well, make sure that they feel comfortable coming down to the center, having coffee. We have a coffee at Saturday mornings. But good intentions. Eschaton, when I was part of United Way, they did a lot of good things, and I think they're a good organization, but there's a little disconnect between what they just said and what's really taking place. And I would just ask that they strive to reach what you just presented, because that would be a good program. It's just the delivery isn't there right now, at least within 20 feet of your building. Okay, just a comment.
Excuse me, could you
Yes.
explain that a little more? I'm not sure how their existing program is missing your expectations. You talked about having seniors get out more in the community, not just be called, but
Well-
actually be out. But what is it that they're doing or not doing that could be improved? Is it more people?
Well, what they're talking about is a national program, and, with 280 million people, the number isn't very strong when you think of the senior population.
Sure.
Second is that within our community, where we are right at their doorstep, they did not want to participate in, they actually didn't want to discuss a sunshine program. What they wanted to do, and they had a sheet there for planning for your, when you pass away. And we just found that to be inappropriate to be included in a packet where we're coming out to see someone. Not that people don't have that issue to deal with, but it should be in a different forum. I know of at least 3 volunteers that went over, wanted to volunteer their time, never heard a phone call back. So again, any organization, you'll have issues. I just would want to make sure this board understands that you heard a good presentation, but I think they have ways to go to make this, it is a good concept, but like all concepts, you've got to practice it, measure that you're hitting your targets. But people do. Seniors, particularly in our community, we've got a lot of people 80, 90 years old. They feel like they don't want to go out to the coffees or go down to the village center. They need to be contacted, make sure they're okay. And it's becoming more and difficult, where we used to provide transportation to the doctors and so forth. Now they're charging $12. $12 on a very low Social Security check is a lot of money. So, as citizens, we recognize the gap was there, and we're trying to do what we can to make our community a safe and just a happy place.
So do you think the issue is that we don't have enough people signed up for this program?
No, I
Or
think
that-
it's just,
Or that the people that are signed up are not getting the services that they should
yeah,
expect to receive?
right, at least from a local standpoint. Our housing development, from a governing standpoint, is a separate entity, yet Eschaton controls us. And yet, when we try to do things that help citizens, they stand in the way. They vote against it. So I'm not sure, they may not be aware of the politics. But
Madam Chair, I just want to make sure that public comment is specifically geared towards the item at hand.
Yes, so thank you.
all right.
I will just say one thing about telephone reassurance, and at least what I saw, so Lindsay and Val, please do let me know if I'm incorrect. I believe for telephone reassurance, you do have to sign up for it. So whether you live in an Eschaton community or not, it is not something that is just, you're automatically signed up. So it is something that a homeowner would have to sign up for themselves. Is that correct?
Yes, and we've actually really tried to push the program, especially, like you said, being in such close proximity. And, unfortunately, that is the struggle that we're having is people don't want that phone call.
Yeah, right. And I think, unless you have something
No,
else
I
on-
just,
Thank you.
you asked for comment.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, and I would just comment that I live in Sun City, Roseville, so just on the other side of Blue Oaks from where you are. And in senior communities, not everyone wants to partake of the opportunities that are available for them. And so I think that it's difficult when you're a volunteer who's very well-meaning and really wants to make a substantial difference in people's lives, but that's not always what that individual wants. And so sometimes there is resistance. or they want a program in a way that's not quite deliverable in the way they would envision it. So it's a complex issue, but I really wish you luck in trying to reach those members of your community, because it is important for them to feel that there is someone they can talk to or reach out to.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can I open it? Oh, okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
Yeah. So my question is to probably Jeff. It seems like, we have two volunteer groups here. And do they all have to register with the city of Roseville?
Not if they're a private entity or a private organization.
Okay, so
doing work.
there is nowhere, or is there a department or somebody that collects all the volunteer services that are offered to this community?
No. I mean, we certainly manage the volunteers that provide service for the Parks and Recreation Department. There's obviously different departments throughout the city that manage their own volunteers for services within the departments, but not private organizations with volunteers. So
And the closing question then would be, is there any way we could actually find out all these individual private volunteer groups so we can actually see which each group can offer and maybe be able to collate all this information to have it available to the public then?
I don't know. I mean, that's
I
a
would like
pretty.
to take a stab. So I think, in part, at least in sitting on this commission for the last few years, the ability to have these groups come and present to us, especially as it relates to our older population, is one way. We had seniors first come. We now have one arm of Eschaton. And again, I want to make that really clear that this is one arm of what the entire giant that, the nonprofit Eschaton does. Same like Sun City, right? We've had, different folks come in, but I think it's upon all of us as commissioners to encourage them to come and reach out to Jeff. If we know, I know you're new to the area, so you're like, where do I start?
So I guess, how do we know who to reach out to? I mean, that's the problem, I think, with a lot of things, is there may be all these private help groups out there, and how are they supposed to know to come and present here?
Good question. Well, I think, geographically, on May the 4th, you will learn about a lot of nonprofits within the region of Sacramento and Placer County through Big Day of Giving. And so, you can look it up that way. I think, as a commission, I'm sure there's a bunch of us that can help share some of that information. I know it's mine and Commissioner Knapp's goal to get us in touch, and we'll talk about that later as well, too. But I think good questions, unless I'm missing something.
No, I think you're absolutely. I was going to refer to the goals that we'll talk about next, but that's certainly a goal of the commission.
I just want to say that I found a way to volunteer when I first came to Roseville on the City of Roseville website. And there's an opportunity there. It'll say, do you want to volunteer? And you click it. And then there's City of Roseville specific, like you want to work in the library. But there's also one that is not associated with the City of Roseville that you can click. And I became a tutor that way. That program is now not functional because they lost the funding for it. But anyway, that was where I found it. But it needs a lot of work, whoever handles it, because I just recently looked, and it just looks like it's pretty dated. Like, the time to turn in your application was maybe 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it needs to be updated, but it is on a city website where you possibly could add, your group, is what I'm saying, to reach more people. I can't be sure about that, but that's when I began to see, and actually, that's how I got to this point of where I'm at sitting now.
Thank you, I
And
appreciate that.
I'll add to that, because that's been our mission for a long time. And actually, we weren't on the website at all, and we worked really hard in the last probably 5 years, to get noticed for who we are, and they can come to us to learn things. And we're trying to get, that's why the 211 number, we're trying to get information out, but they're only as good as the information they have. So that's a suggestion for you also. And I'm looking at a couple of different venues besides here of how, and that's one of Nicole's and my part of the goal, is we're looking at how we can get that information about all the resources. And there's a lot more than you know in Roseville. We're very rich and able for things for seniors. It's just, it's the best kept secret until you search and find. And you can, but if we had some place that they could go, whether it be on our website or to what we call, I'm on a couple other 7-county group, and we're looking at what we call warm handoff. So if they call Seniors First, they'll get a warm handoff to somebody that will help them so that people don't get lost and call 9, hit 9, hit 2, hit this, or call this number, or maybe this number. And me trying to help somebody out with transportation in Sacramento, I went further with talking to somebody because the person that was on the line wanted to make sure I got my need taken care of before she left me, for whatever it took. And to me, I was so thankful in helping the person I was trying to help. They would have given up on the second conversation where they start referring them numbers. So I think that's something we have to think about as we put the resources where they can at least go to one place, and that the culture becomes, if I can't help you, I'm not going to let you go until I can send you to the next party that can help you out. So I know we're trying to do that actually all the way up to the state of California at this point. So we're looking with all the resources that we have, how do people access them? And that's why the 211 came about, but they're only as good as the information they have. And so often it doesn't stay current, as your point. When we got it on the website, and we'll probably work at how we can get more information, or at least get them to the first place where they'll get warm handoffs. And that's kind of the terminology the state's using. So
I wonder, from a legal standpoint, if there was this master list that had all the resources for seniors in our area, volunteer, perhaps others, if there would be any liability on the part of the city to publish such a list, if there were negative experiences with any of those companies. I wonder how much you have to manage that.
I think that's a great question. I mean, I think that's a hard question to answer, but I think
You need a legal answer.
I think this is great conversation because we talked about the goals. It'd be a great segue into the next item. But we do, what we do is we have resources that we refer phone calls to, like Seniors First would be a primary, our primary resource right now. But I would echo Commissioner Zamora's comment with presentations, and we highly encourage folks out there who have something to share that will help the larger senior community within the city to reach out and be able to come out and present the services that they provide, and that's a good start to kind of start, I guess, collecting resources, right? To your point, Commissioner Chang, we don't know who's all out there. We may have ideas, but we don't know who's all out there. So we highly encourage folks or companies, businesses, resources to reach out to us, and when we offer the senior fairs and those types of things, that's another great opportunity to look at all the different resources that are available within the city, the county. And I think there's things that we can do and look into, and how we, I don't want to say market or advertise, but how we provide access to different resources that aren't ours. But I think that's something that we have to dig a little deeper to kind of, to your point, is what's the liability to that, and what can and can we not do.
And I would like to, I think too, we missed it a little bit with Val. She is a resource navigator and a certified senior specialist. So again, taking that extra step to, be certified, to take the test, to do things like that. And I would, I am sure they would welcome any of us, as long as it's not 3 of us together at the same time, to continue conversations with them to learn even more, so we can do some of our own homework and Commissioner Knapp and I look forward to tackling that a little bit later as well, too. I will go ahead and now close public comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 6.3, review and approve senior commission goals for 2023. Jeff?
Yeah, so as the commission is well aware that typically at the end of every year, we will host a senior commission goals workshop to, one, review the goals from that year, a little bit of evaluate those. But then most importantly is to kind of identify and select goals going into the new year. And so we did that on December 6th. We held a special workshop meeting out at the Martha Riley Library. And the purpose of the meeting was to determine the vision and the plan on what the commission would like to accomplish over this next year in 2023. A little bit about the exercise, more for the public, is, we solicited ideas from the commission regarding what they thought or what they would like to see as a goal for 2023. We received a number of ideas, and so we really just did a dot exercise, quite frankly. We listed all the goals up on the wall, gave the commissioners a certain amount of dots, and they had to select and narrow down, their top, I think it was top 5 for the first round. And then we challenged them to now, for those top 5, is now narrow that down to the top 3. And so we did that. And you'll see what came out of that. So the top 3 goals for the Senior Commission for 2023, number 1 is to identification of new seniors moving into Roseville and how to get them linked into our senior community. And I'll say that Commissioner Crawford and Commissioner Ambrosi will take on that goal. Second goal is working with nonprofit and senior living partners. That will be addressed by Commissioner Knapp and Commissioner Zamora. And the third goal is to improve communication with the senior community about available programs in the city and county. And that will be overseen by Commissioner Starr and Commissioner Chang. A very good discussion at that meeting, great conversation. I'm optimistic about these goals. I think the commission is as well, based on some of the conversations we had at that workshop meeting, and I'm excited to see how we move this forward, because a little bit about the conversation we just had really ties into these goals, and I think just today's conversation with that last topic, I think we're on the right track of kind of what our vision is, and to provide resources and access to the adult senior community within the city. So I'm excited about that.
Are there any questions or comments from the commission? In particular to our goals or like our roles there? Okay. I'd like to open this to public comment. Is there any member of the public who wishes to give public comment on this item? Okay, I will now close public comment.
Madam Chair, I do have a question about when are we going to be reporting out about any progress on each of these goals?
So first, we have to vote and even make a motion to adopt these as our goals. So within our, at our last meeting, we had the discussion, and you went ahead of me, and now I'll be asking for, is there a motion to approve the 2023 Senior Commission goals?
So move.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Commissioner Zamora, I do want to just mention to Commissioner Crawford too, because I thought that was a good point, is, and again, for the public, is that the goal for every commission meeting is we will do a kind of a check-in on our goals and open it up to the commission to kind of provide feedback on progress, status of the goals. I think that will help a little bit of holding us a little bit of accountable, and then soliciting feedback, or, at least putting it out to the public to kind of show that we're doing what we said we're going to do. And I think, if we are able to stay consistent and work on these goals throughout the year, I think some really good things can happen within our community for the senior community. So I'm excited again to kind of see how these morph into some good successes.
So Jeff, just to clarify, so we can make sure we understand, that'll come later than in the agenda where it's commissioner kind of reports. Can we talk about it then?
You could talk about it now. I mean,
Okay.
you can kind of report out if you'd like, kind of maybe where you're at with, if you have met since our goals workshop and kind of where you're at. But those are the conversations. That will be a standing item on the agenda each meeting for the rest of this year.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and bring it back to the commissioners. If anyone would like to share, Commissioner?
Yes, on behalf of Commissioner Ambrosi and myself, one of the ideas that we talked about was contacting the County Office of Elections to find newly registered voters. Seniors are a highly registered voter group, and so if they have recently registered in our 3 city zip codes, we would hope that we could get that information out of the County Office of Elections, because periodically they do update their information with just exactly that information. They know that people have moved from a different county or they're a newly registered voter. But in any case, that means that they are integrating into our community in a substantial way. And so I did contact the Office of Elections and unfortunately kind of got a pushback that said, I identified myself as an appointed commissioner on the Senior Commission for the City of Roseville and requested the information saying that our purpose was to identify new residents within Roseville. And I got pushback that pretty much said, what are you really trying to do? And, a little suspicion. So I did refer that letter back to Jeff as our staff member, saying, is this something that maybe the city clerk could help us with by, providing justification for this information request? It is public information. Voter registration information is not in any way private. It is a piece of public information, but, and I was surprised to get the pushback, frankly, because in my political world, I've gotten voter information often, but this time I did get some pushback. So I'm thinking that if the city clerk or perhaps the city manager's office could help us in some way alert the County Office of Elections that we have no nefarious motives behind wanting to know who has recently moved in. And I asked them if they could even separate it by age, like maybe over 50 or over 55, so that we were really targeting our senior audience. So we'll see what can happen with that information. I just recently got that reply from the county. So
What was that information that they would provide to you if they were willing to? Are we talking physical address? Probably
Yes.
not email, phone?
Actually, anything that you write down on your voter registration card is public information. So for sure, in order to be a registered voter, you have to give your address. It has to be a physical address. So it would be the name, the age, the physical address, if you put a phone number, the phone number, if you put an email, the email. So that information is all public. So we would request that because that would be the easiest way for us to contact people, is if in fact they had emails, that would be cheaper than sending out a mailer of some sort. So finding out what that information could be would help us make a plan as to how we would enter into communication with that group. And I have no idea how large it would be, and I know that maybe we would just request that information like maybe twice a year to see, when those new people are moving in and what kind of information we would have on them. So that was my thought. I don't know if there's any other place that we could be asking the information from. I don't know that the county assessor's office would have as much public information available. But at some point, there should be a way to get that information.
Thank you. Any other commissioners would like to report? Do you want me to? Yeah, I'll report for Commissioner Zamora and Commissioner Knapp. So ours is working with nonprofit and senior living partners. So, we really brainstormed, and it kind of goes a lot to what we're saying, right? How do we get this information? How do we utilize our partners to help us get this information out? So knowing, right, that it's not once we become, commissioners here that we have an unlimited budget. So how do we utilize and arm folks that are already out there in the community? A lot of what we've heard and a lot of what we know too is, first of all, most of this information's out there. It's how do we get it in the hands of the people that want it, right? Because we can't really force people to want this information either. But we thought a great way would be to reach out to providers. They're all having tours. They're, a lot of, whether that be realtors or some of our, Sun Cities, Eschaton, Carlton, Sunrises, they're all looking for people to move into their communities as well. So how could we maybe arm nonprofit and senior living partners with information, have these packets either printed or online with helpful resources and information. So helping them, hey, you're new to the city, and what, a beautiful place that would be if they, knew that pickleball was on one day, or knew about FAB, or knew about a resource navigator at one of our nonprofit partners. We want to get, everything from, I think we said some religious groups, right? So, religious groups involved, the older adult collaborative, senior centers, really utilizing the people and places that are already out there, and just arming them with something that we feel, good about. And then, so within that, so in order to arm them with something, we would have to kind of create this toolkit. And so that's part of what we'll be working on. And in a perfect world, Commissioner Knapp and I would love to host things called Coffee and Conversations at a fun, kind of, if I were to just throw something off the top of my head, Capital One has a community coffee space at the Galleria. I do not work for Capital One, I just know this. So that would be fun, right? As people are maybe walking around, they're seeing it. As an older adult child, maybe you're getting your fix on at the Apple store and you're like, what? I can help mom and dad learn about something else, so kind of utilizing all those tools.
Right, because it was really important that we include the younger group too, because who provides? Like I provided for my parents. They get the information, or the older parent, or they start to recognize their parent needs help, and they like to get them to the right resource. And this even happens in the assisted living places. They're looking for resources, so any place we can get, and they'd love to have us. They'd serve food and have us come. And the more we get this out by word of mouth, as well as other ways to, everybody talks to each other. Word of mouth has been the best way we've been able to get between the older people. And then if they have another resource, the younger people, they have a chance, they go online. They go find things. So multiple ways to get the information out there. Then it's like, oh, by the way, and I'll use the example of the 911. Nobody knew about it until they called. And the way that got out to the rest of the city is word of mouth. People called and got the bill. And so we involved the fire department, and they started to come out and give information. And we have the senior fair, and it's done in a couple of places. And it's really important because a lot of people come and they learn a lot of information, or at least this starts the information sharing, which is another way. I mean, there's no single way. So the multiple ways that we can get the resources out there once we gather them as much as we can. And there's so many ways we can do that is not it's not costly. People want to hear that. So they invite us. And the more we start word of mouth, groups, the more we start sharing the information. It's the first time I heard about the telephone thing at Eschaton, and I have a lot of contacts that's a wonderful thing because they're home alone. They lost their wife or their husband, and they tell me, I feel lonely. I just feel lonely. What can I do? Mm-hmm. I mentioned the Mitre Senior Center, but some of them are a little afraid to go, or they don't have a way to get there, or they feel they don't. So the next thing is transportation. So it's just how it leads from one thing to the other. And then once they get there, they have coffee together, go on a walk together, and they start sharing information. It's just amazing how that works. So we're hoping to build into that, not build something new, but gather information and find ways to get it out to people.
Yes, Commissioner Knapp will keep us very busy.
I think there's, I'll let Jean speak in a minute as well, but we're on the third goal here, and I think there's a lot of overlap that we're going to start seeing happening between the results of what you're doing out there, what you're finding, information you get as well, and then information we get. So we met in January, and we redefined our goal based on the SMART worksheet. So we did that. And we went on to identify the number one way of increasing communication, which we talked about before, which was a newsletter. And we made a plan for that. We're still struggling with whether that should be a print or digital only. So in the process of this, we're working with Jeff as our liaison with the city to see what resources we can get to help with that. And so we have an action plan, looks like that, so it's fairly detailed. Haven't put a lot of dates around it, but number one was this newsletter, digital or otherwise. Secondly, we looked at additional opportunities for communication. So to your point about having people interested in having you speak, I was at Lifetime in January, and I happened to mention to their Aurora Club, which is their 55 and up group, they would love us to come there and speak. They have a coffee every Monday, Wednesday. They would set up a room, and we could go there and talk. So I think there's a lot of opportunities, in addition to a newsletter, that we're going to find in common working with each other. We talked about ways to expand a presence on the City of Roseville website, the newsletter that already, We Are Roseville newsletter that they're sending out, the Fab View newsletter that's going out. There's a lot of things already being done, and they touch in some of those areas on the Senior Commission, but there's very little information. So we have to work hard at getting more content for there. What are we doing? Making them aware of that, a list, dates, inviting people to volunteer, inviting people to contribute. We've been working on a questionnaire that Jean designed as a start to get sent out. We'll talk with Jeff more about that after this meeting. So a lot of ideas here. Just wanted to capture them while we were thinking of them, because you never know. You may be working on some of the same things. So we'll have conversations about that. And if anyone has any extra time and you want to come help us, I think we could use it. I think this is a very big goal. Yeah, so Jean, would you like to add to that? No?
Thank you. Now we will, because we already voted, right? Yes, okay. Now we will move on to item 6.4, City of Roseville Fitness Program. Alicia Moyer?
Yep. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Alicia Moyer, and I am a Recreation and Library Supervisor with the Parks, Recreation, and Libraries Department. I'm here today to present a program spotlight on our City of Roseville Fitness Program, or our core fitness program. I will begin with a brief overview of our fitness program. We have 4 facilities in which our fitness programs take place: the Mike Shelito Indoor Pool, the Roseville Aquatics Complex during the summer months, the Mahaney Fitness Center, formerly the Roseville Sports Center, and the Maidu Community Center. The Mahaney Fitness Center offers a gymnasium, fitness equipment room, and a group fitness studio. And we offer many types of fitness programs within core fitness. We have group fitness classes, personal training, lap swim, and open exercise at the pools. We have open gym at the Mahaney Fitness Center, which includes basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. Within core fitness, we also have our Be Well Roseville program, which promotes being active, eating healthy, and feeling renewed, which I'll touch on a little bit later. And we have a variety of fitness events that we put on throughout the year as well. Last but certainly not least, we have our wonderful employees who we could not do all that we do without them, and that includes our fitness instructors, personal trainers, and we have a fitness coordinator as well. I'll now give a few details into the core fitness program. We have multiple types of memberships, and a few of them we just introduced this coming in 2023. We have individual and family monthly options, which have been here for a while. We have active aging option, that is for those 62 years and older now. We have a military and military family option, a college teen, and we will have a student summer pass option this summer as well, which some of our college students have already expressed they're very excited about. And we have seen a tremendous amount of support and excitement about our new offerings, and we continue to see our membership grow throughout our facilities. The chart you see here is an indication that we are currently still trying to climb out of our COVID restricted year. In 2020, we only saw about 47,000 participations throughout our 4 facilities. In 2021, we saw about 64,000 participations. And in 2022, we saw about 84,000 participations. We're excited to see so many people coming back to our facilities and taking part in their fitness journey with us. I mentioned before a few of our fitness programs that we offer, but here they are in a bit more detail. The Mahaney Fitness Center offers 42 classes a week. The Maidu Community Center offers 11 classes a week. And the Mike Shelato Indoor Pool offers 32 classes a week, and those are just our group fitness classes. The Maidu Community Center also has the outdoor fitness court, which you can regularly see people working out on. It's really cool if you haven't visited yet. We have our personal training program where members can sign up to work one-on-one with a personal trainer at their speed and their dates and times of choice. We have lap swim and open exercise at the Mike Shelato Indoor Pool year-round, and we offer lap swim at the Roseville Aquatics Complex during the summer months. We currently offer 17 different lap swim and open exercise opportunities a week at the Mike Shelato Indoor Pool. At the Mahaney Fitness Center, we offer a variety of times for open gym, which patrons and members can come enjoy activities such as basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. These activities and their participations are only growing as time goes on, and we do see the biggest uptick in attendance when schools are out of session. We offer a variety of fitness events throughout our facilities during the year. For example, we are currently in an event called Be Well Heart Healthy Bingo. Participants can take a bingo card and complete rows and columns to earn prizes. And if someone completes all the squares on the card, they can be in a drawing to win a new gym bag packed with fitness goodies that we stuff with. And lastly, we have Be Well Roseville, which I will touch on in the next slide. Be Well Roseville is a wellness initiative designed with the mission to create and promote a healthier city and focuses on 3 major areas of wellness: physical exercise, good nutrition, and mind-body renewal. Each of these components is encompassed in the colors of the heart. So pink for get active, blue for feel renewed, and green for eat healthy. And you can see those hearts on those shirts up there. Mm-hmm. We offer Fitness in the Park events every second Saturday of the month. These events include such things as group fitness classes, nutrition workshops, and grocery store tours, just to name a few. Each event that someone attends, they can earn that color-focused activity wristband, and when they obtain all 3 of those colors, they can turn them in for a Be Well Roseville t-shirt. Yeah, I've got some on. And we hope to continue to grow this program as it has become very popular, and the shirts are a hot commodity.
It's a very attractive design.
Yes, yeah, we loved it. Our marketing department worked really hard with us to get that.
Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
One more. Sorry, one more slide. One of our newest programs that we offer is that of our personal trainers working with the police department staff. We started this program in 2022 in hopes that we can help in the prevention of police injuries and decreased recovery time. We are also emphasizing overall health and well-being with those police officers. Our personal trainers go out to RPAL to train the PD staff so that they're close to the police station and can be ready for their shift when it begins, or come and work out with the personal trainers as soon as their shift is over. We have heard great feedback from the police department staff and hope to continue this program in fiscal year 24. Again, last but certainly not least is the staff that it takes to run all of these wonderful programs. We currently have 27 fitness instructors and personal trainers who teach our group fitness classes and the police department training. Each fitness instructor has extensive training and are required to have fitness certifications to be considered for a position with the city. And we also have a part-time fitness recreation leader or coordinator who oversees the fitness program as a whole and the fitness instructors themselves. That concludes my presentation for this afternoon. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those right now.
Thank you. Now, are there any questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner?
So there's a lot of medical health insurance plans that sponsor or will pay for fitness programs. I'm wondering, are you in these insurance plans?
Yeah, we don't currently offer the third-party billing that you're kind of speaking to. We've talked about it, but at this time, we just don't know if we have the manpower to do that for the city.
What are the monthly charges for each of those categories?
Oh boy, you're gonna test my memory here. Oh look, Jeff brought it with me. I had it ready.
Weird,
too.
I thought that question might get asked.
Yeah. So recently, we just rolled out all of our new fitness options, and we did split into a resident and a non-resident fee. So for an individual monthly, for a resident is $42. If you're a non-resident, it is $46. And then we do have additional family members that you can put onto your account. And for a resident, that's $27 or $31 for a non-resident. Our family membership is for residents $89 a month. A non-resident is $99. Each additional family member past 4 that you can put on your membership is $15, whether you're a resident or a non-resident. Our active aging membership, as well as our military membership, is $35 for a resident and $39 for a non-resident. The military family is $76 for a resident, $80 for a non-resident. The college, and you must be a current college or trade school student, and you have to have an ID to prove that, $35 for a resident, $39 for a non-resident. And then our teen, we actually do have a teen one now, $35 for a resident, $39 for a non-resident. And then the student summer fitness pass, which will take place from Memorial Day to Labor Day, is $85 for that time period. It's just a flat rate, and $95 for the non-resident.
Any other questions from the commission?
I have a comment. Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you. I am a Core Fitness member since I moved to Roseville in 2016. And we talked about isolation and meeting people. I think if I didn't become a Core Fitness member, most of the people I met are from there.
Yeah.
And I get together regularly with these people I've met, and not to mention the teachers, and Joe. I remember him used to check me in. Everybody is so, I don't know, I just sometimes think, wow, we were so lucky.
Yeah.
I could see them working at really good spas, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. All the instructors love what they do, and they're very excited to come to class and to see everybody. I know a lot of them do luncheons or different,
we do.
parties to celebrate different holidays and whatnot, or even birthdays. They find out about a member's birthday and they do something special, so it's great.
Question, is there like a drop-in or like a first time to go check it out? Anything like that?
Yeah, so we actually have a 1-week free trial, and that applies to all the facilities. So when you come in, you can try any of the classes. You can work out at the Mahaney Fitness Center. You get 1 week totally free. And then we do have drop-in rates, and those are $11.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And are the memberships on a monthly basis or yearly, or how does that work?
Yes, they are all monthly. Yeah, except for the student summer pass. That one's just a flat rate for those summer months.
At this time, I'd like to open this to public comment. Is there any member of the public who wishes to give public comment on this item? I will now close the public comment. On to, thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you. Item 7, board member, commissioner, or staff report. Staff, do you have any updates or comments for the commission?
Yeah, I'm going to invite Annie Stanko and Sarah Schlehofer up. They will provide some staff comments or reports.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you. I'm Annie Stanko. I oversee all of our FAB activities. I gave you guys a newsletter, so you can kind of take a look at that. I don't really have a big update, but a couple things that are going on. We did start our Parkinson's support group, so that's back in action, which we're very happy about. We have a technology workshop that has really bloomed. We do a workshop the first Thursday, and then he comes the third Thursday and provides one-on-one support with anyone who signs up. So you can people bring in laptops, they bring in their phones, they bring in their DVR system, and we kind of troubleshoot things. He also provides Zoom meetings, so if they have a big thing at home that they can't bring their TV in, he'll kind of do that over the Zoom support. And then we just did our first senior prom that happened on Saturday, which was amazing. We had 65 seniors come out. We crowned a king and queen. It was an amazing experience. They came, it was at Wood Creek Golf Club, 65 seniors. A lot of single people came. We probably had maybe 20 couples come. We got really great feedback. A lot of people said that they were nervous to come alone, but our staff did a really great job at making them feel welcome. There was dancing the entire night. And then the king and queen were a father and daughter. They were nominated. And he is a widow of 74 years. And so him and his daughter came, and their first dance was the dance that they danced when he gave her away at their wedding. So it was a very sweet moment. Everybody pulled out their handkerchiefs. He did actually, while they were dancing, he pulled out his hanky from his pocket. But other than that, we have 350 active members right now, so we're slowly growing back to pre-COVID, which was around 500. So we're slowly getting there. Since the beginning of the year, we've had 40-plus members join, and that's just been about a month and a week, so it's looking good.
Good.
Do you guys have any questions for me?
Commissioners, any questions?
Annie, just real quick, those, well, it could be non-members or members, they're all still within Roseville, though, or not?
The 350?
Well, I think initially you had told me you had about 350 that were members, another couple hundred maybe that were non-members.
The
that you were
350
emailing.
is non-member, couple, and, or non-member, non-resident, resident, and couples. So it encompasses everyone.
Okay, okay, so non-resident, they could be outside of Roseville, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good, thank you.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Sarah Schlehofer. I'm a librarian with the Roseville Public Libraries. I would like to present to all of you today some of the partnerships that the library is currently working with and operating programs under that would involve seniors, adults, and many others. The first one I'd like to talk about is our American Sign Language story time at our downtown library. This is increasing. It's Wednesday, 10 a.m. It's with the Department of Placer County of Education, and it is just delightful to watch the engagement of children and their grandparents and adults learn sign language and enjoy storytelling. The second one is a partnership with the Mike Shellito Indoor Pool. It is Reading with a Mermaid. This is second Tuesday. It is an adult and taught class, but many of our grandparents are taking their grandchildren to the pool, reading bathtub books, and enjoying one of our librarians who dresses as a mermaid and actually swim underwater and enrich their literacy and love of water. The Roseville Genealogical Society now has a table most Wednesdays at the lobby in the Riley Library, and they're there to answer and filter any kind of questions folks might have. Our volunteer program is beefing up. We currently have 15 people helping us with volunteer opportunities. This includes shelving, but more importantly, we're bringing back the tech help in the library. If someone brings in their device, we're not troubleshooting problems, but we can help them navigate ebooks, e-audiobooks, e-magazines, and DVD streaming for educational DVDs. Those are resources we currently have. Our adult literacy program is going crazy. We currently have 7 literacy pairs with 2 that are onboarding, and we have a wait list of tutors waiting for students. Conversation Club is a group of, it's a free drop-in program for English language learners looking for practice in conversational English. We've expanded it to 2 locations, Monday at Riley at 9:30 and Thursdays at downtown at 11:15. This program is led by a volunteer. Coming late this summer, we are partnering with the Fig Tree Cafe. We will be having local author talks. We've got 3 to 6 people sort of lined up. We're just putting some details in the marketing together, so there'll be more on that coming shortly. And then for our senior adult program, or people, we are partnering also with Roseville PD to present a series of adult senior safety topics. The first one will be in August with their K-9 unit, hopefully aligned so that we can have the dedication for Apollo Park. The second one will be at the Maidu Community Center for adult senior safety and just exactly what information needs to be communicated when you're in those really stressful situations. And then right before the holiday time, we are going to do a presentation with Roseville PD on the scams and cybersecurity that is probably happening most, or that Roseville is seeing happening most often. A couple of other things that are going on. We do a seasonal story time at the fountains, and this has actually turned into sort of a revenue opportunity for us. Our story times go to the fountains, and folks are welcome to bring their little ones or any age, actually. And as a result of that, they are gifting us back $50 gift cards to the businesses there, which we will use as drawings for our spring reading challenge for our adults. So spring reading challenge will start March 4th, and we expect all of you to participate and hopefully win your $50 gift card. And finally, an opportunity has been really placed in front of us in the public libraries for room rentals. And we have many spaces that are available for those folks that are working from home that come to the library to work, need to have a formal interview or just a business conversation. And so they're now able to come to the library and rent on a drop-in basis. It's $10 for a half hour and up. Some of them are a little more expensive because of the size of those. So much more. I'm not going to take any more of your time, but I do appreciate the opportunity to share some of the things we have for our seniors and adults in our community.
Thank you. Exciting. Any comments?
Are all these programs cost-free?
Yes.
Commission members, do you have any comments or updates for the staff?
Okay. Well, my comment would be that you are definitely upping your game as we are ready for more people to come out after COVID. So I think that this is a positive and exciting opportunity. This newsletter is thicker with more information and more dates. And we just need to make sure that we get it into people's hands. By any chance, are you distributing this at grocery stores? do you not have that many published that you could give 100 to the Rayleighs and the Safeway and the Nugget and the Whole Foods? Right here in Roseville, just those, 8 or 10 grocery stores, where if they had 100 of these at each one of those locations, then, they could get picked up by people who wouldn't necessarily think to go online to see it, or maybe aren't going to the library regularly or to the Mike Shalita pool. But if they saw it and read it, because I think it is very readable, it's a very nice presentation, that they might, it might trigger some more activism on the part of our seniors.
Yeah, currently we don't. It's something we can certainly look at doing. It would definitely be a change to how we market and advertise, for sure. So it would just be certainly having some of those conversations with the grocery stores, and then certainly internally, is that, having those conversations in regards to, is that something we're allowed to do? So, but it kind of goes back to all the goals and all the conversations we have. We're always looking for ways to communicate what we offer in different ways, and, and how we reach the broader community within the city. So definitely a good suggestion.
When I talked to Annie about this earlier, she said that she was starting to reach out to a couple of the senior developments and post like a 2-page copy, printed copy there. Obviously not this whole thing at all locations, but I think continuing that, and I think that's maybe something other commissioners, as they're working with these locations, gyms, everywhere. 2-pager stuck up on the wall with a very clear go-to to how to actually get the full newsletter.
Yep.
Oh,
would be helpful.
I think that's really good, because you have one real close to you, the Terraces, and they take them to all these places, and there's some that belong to gyms, like 24 Hour Fitness. Sometimes it's driven by their health care, but if they don't know, because I've talked to a couple, they didn't even know that Roseville had all this gym stuff, and they were excited, again, for your reason, is meeting other people outside their community. And getting to the new people at the grocery stores, I'm just thinking when my mother came at 90-something, she wanted, before we discovered Maidu quite a while ago, that's one way she went to the grocery store. So there you go, because she was looking for something outside of facilities to find friends and connect, and it'll be I think it'd be a great outreach for what you do. Is a surprise to people how much you really do when they start looking.
Yeah, and we partnered with a few grocery stores for Senior Prom, and they expressed interest in doing that. So printing, I gave them a couple of just the activities instead of the entire guide, because that gets a little bit costly. And so that is something that we're kind of navigating through. I don't know if, like Jeff said, if we can necessarily do all of them, but it's something that if they're willing, they can just post on, like Starbucks has those little boards, and so we can just post them on like communication boards.
Great.
They're available at the libraries too, and our libraries continue to be very, very busy, very busy. New card applications are just off the charts. So all that information is definitely front and center, along with the city's programs.
I think that's very optimistic news, right? I think we're seeing that people want to get back out. They want those connections. And so, yeah, any way we can help, and, again, getting it in our toolkit of information too, for folks to know that there's a lot to do.
I was thinking, how visible the banners are that are just past, on that corner, just where the soccer fields are. They're so visible right there, right? The Agewell in Roseville, I think the Senior Prom was on there. Obviously, if you're driving, you can't write a number down or probably even scan a QRC code or something, but I think it's possible to have a banner that's very generic, posted in a lot of locations, even schools, because their parents need to know this information, but it's a QRC code they scan on their phone, and it takes you to whatever location that has all this information listed, or maybe it's multiple links on there. And it's just the cost of doing the banners, maybe 50 around the city. I think it's doable, but you've got to make the reach of it very broad, of what that QRC code is going to show them if they click on it, or if they take a picture of it on their phone.
And so again, we're reaching the children that go to the parents. And actually, at the senior fair, exactly that. A new parent came. She came to the Roseville table. I handed this because they had no idea, and she was trying to teach her mom, no, you don't have to be alone. Here you can go, and look, we have transportation to get you there. So it's however we get there, and a lot of times it's the younger people who are helping their parents.
Yeah, I sign up a lot of people who their kiddos are bringing, or they're not kiddos, but their adult children are bringing their families and their mom, their dad, or they recently lost one, so they come in because of the widower support group or something brings them in. But our marketing team's doing a really good job at putting out marketing, like ads, just because we know the younger crowd sees these Instagram or Facebook posts, and then they go and take that information to their families. So we're trying to kind of target everyone, not just necessarily the 50-plus community or FAP community.
Because you're getting a number of people that way, just because I'm out there. So I tend to hear that from more and more young people. And I go back and look at myself, and that's exactly what I did, because I moved an older parent from the other side of from New York to here. So they're totally new to the whole place. And they would just be, my mother would have been frozen had I not started to take her places. And so you find that all the time.
You have a widowers support group?
Yep, every Friday.
Wow.
It's a widowed person, so there's men and women that come.
Yeah.
And we probably have anywhere from 15 to 25 people that come, and they meet up and they go have lunch after. It's been very
Good to
successful.
know. There was a gentleman standing in the store one day looking at the frozen food aisle, and he was just standing there, and he was totally lost. And I walked up, and he asked me a question on the pizzas, how long they would last if he bought a frozen pizza and kept it in his freezer, because his wife had passed away. And he didn't know what to cook anymore for dinner. And you could tell he was just really, he didn't cry, but he was really overcome. He was just frozen right there in the moment. So those things are really valuable for people like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well, now we can get to item number 8, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Good job.